What's up, guys? This is What If Saitama Trained His Intelligence. Now, this would really be more of a, it's more of a one-shot what if, but we're going to start off anyway. So we start off with Saitama just getting out of that job interview and having to wind up killing the crab. Now, if y'all don't, Crablante or whatever his name was. Now, if y'all don't know, Crablante was considerably more powerful than you think. He wasn't a C-class villain or something. He was an A-class. Meaning, characters like Flashy Flash and shit like that are the ones you'd have to expect to fight on that level. I don't think it's Flashy Flash, some shit like that. Look, just next to 90% of characters can't fuck with this character, okay? That's how strong this character is. You know that one guy who took out a shitload of sea creatures? The one who wields that spear, and most tank top people too? Yeah, they're A-class. The villain would take an A-class to defeat it. Saitama defeated it with zero training before he even started his workout, so I think that was where he really was an A-class hero at rank. Now in this version, Saitama trains, he trains every day, but he also reads a book, learns more. Of course, Saitama doesn't read that often, but still. He still trains like crazy and gets this kind of build with enough power to where he never looks so weird, though. He doesn't look as comical. Now, he's still bald. People still talk a lot of shit, but no one's going to fuck with him because he's intelligent. He knows how to get his image out there. Now, Saitama's actually pretty well known in the community. He fights crime for fun, though. And people know of the villains he fights. Although, they don't know that he is a hero. They don't know what he is. They call him the anti-hero because he's not really a villain, not really a hero. He just takes out villains and that's about it. Lives his life. Now, they didn't know about a hero association. He never really figured it out until he had to deal with Genos. Basically, every fight really just plays out in, I can see how strong you are. One punch. That's about it. Now, when he has to fight that really powerful thing, the evolution, same dudes who created Zombie Man and all the other bullshit things, yeah. Saitama fights that thing with one punch in its berserker state and one-shot it. Easily. And when he told them his training routine, he also included work on his intelligence, or else he's just some mindless monster. Now, what does that mean? Saitama's crazy strong, but he also has a few drawbacks. He can't just fight. He has to use his intelligence, or he's kind of done. Now, what do I mean by that? He knows how to, move out the way. He's never had to, but he knows how. He's really book smart. You'll see where this plays in. When he does the hero exam, his stats are still so high that no one ever could imagine how to match them. While Genos got S-Class, Saitama was actually not given S-Class because while he did train his intelligence, he just really didn't care. And he really didn't try that hard on the test, so he actually wound up getting B-Class. Now, what I mean by B-Class is in top 3 of B-Class. Although his stats were so high, they were thinking about giving him S to A-Class, though they decided to give him B-Class because of his mental scoring. Well, it was higher than it was in canon by a fuckload. It wasn't the highest. It was higher than most in B-Class. It was actually right there next to A-Class, just not right next to him. His physical stats were probably enough to get him into A-Class, though, and they were confused why they didn't put him in there. This is when they stated if they put 2 people clean from beginning to S-Class level, it'd be crazy. And yes, those 2 were crazy strong, and they could probably both manage S-Class easily. Now, in this version, they saw how powerful Deep Sea King was, and Saitama, when he had to deal with all them bad guys, it wasn't even hard for him. But when he had to deal with that Flashy Flash dude, he figured out what his power was. He's fast as fuck. Speedo Sonic, that guy. Flashy Flash is basically like his arch rival or some shit. He's an S-Class hero. I think. I'm not certain on that one. All I know is that Saitama can understand how fast he is. But Saitama is also really smart, and in this version he likes to meme on people. So what does he fucking do? He outspeeds him. And in this version, that nutshot wasn't exactly unplanned. It was kind of, I'm gonna get him with this one. And he got him. Barely, but it was more than enough to hear you, for everyone to hear, ding! As Speed of Sound Sonic ran away and just started crying as much pain as he was in. Now, Saitama's still strong as shit, so I don't think that anyone would like to fuck with him. Which, yeah, no one fucks with Saitama because that's how strong he is. He's pretty certain that no one knows how strong he is, though. Now, while he is now, at this point, a B-class hero, and he is still approached right by Fubuki in this version in the first season, it's right before he fights that thing. Although, everything goes basically as canon. A-class heroes taken out. S-class heroes are taken out. Everyone's taken out, including Moomin Rider, who honestly, number 1 in C class, who honestly I have most respect for. In this version, though, Saitama basically grabs him, basically takes that punch from Deep Sea King, and when you hear a ding, he looks dead at Deep Sea King. When it went to hit one more time, Saitama one-shot it. And this is when they all said something, and this is when they started doubting the heroes thing. This is when Saitama was honest. And he actually said something different than he did in canon. In canon, he egged them on to make them pissed at him. In this version, you hear him say this. It actually does matter how they rank. And they listen, because this guy just straight up one-shot a giant monster. You see, depending on what you want to get, I aimed for B class to climb away up a little bit. Didn't want to go to C class, it seemed boring to me. But I'm also stronger than some S-class heroes, or probably a good bit of them. So take my disciple here. He's strong, but I am stronger. Though he is who I have trained. I have him train his intelligence more than I do. Hearing this, that kind of confused them. Now, this is when Saitama basically states, if he hadn't done this, most of them would be dead. And told them to shut up because S-Class was important. And he was on his way to S-Class. He was strong enough to be there. He just didn't pass the test yet. Hearing this, they were like, wait, what? Intelligence is what separates the classes. S-Class are the smartest and the strongest. A-classes can be the smartest or the strongest. B-classes are not the best in either category, but they're more managed. And C-class aren't great in either one, but they are quite useful above average people. Hearing this, everyone's intrigued, and they want to check it out. And this led to Saitama getting promoted from B-class rank 4 to B-class rank 1, and he could get the choice to go to A-class, which he gladly took. And Fubuki was actually asked him to join her group, and he said no. But then he thought, maybe I couldn't join your group, but I would like to see what happens. Now, Saitama does very much training a lot, and she tries to outpower him, and Saitama straight up states that your strength isn't comparable to mine. As he just flexed his muscles, which was more than enough to send her flying away. She thought it was psychic powers. He said, no, it's just air pressure. As this is when Genos would walk in and say, calm down. As they would listen to an S-class hero. And because at this point, Saitama is now ranking in the A-class. They weren't sure where to put him, though. They put him at the very end of A-class. Now, he's still strong. He knows he's smarter than a good bit of them. Stronger than, 90% of them. Well, actually, stronger than every single one of them. Smarter than 90% of them. He just doesn't want to test anything right now. He just leaves it mainly alone. Now, he's training... He trains with Genos almost every day. And this version, Moomin Rider as well. Because when Moomin Riders, he noticed how powerful Moomin Rider kicks were. So he had him put on a training regimen. It wasn't surpassing limits, but it was a little bit of training. I'd say now Moomin Rider is roughly as strong as Fubuki. And this is over a 3-month time. Because yeah, that's how long I'm putting this to take. Now when that meteor happened, Saitama got even more known. Although in this version, he doesn't actually power through the meteor. He basically clenched his fist, swung, to put enough air pressure to send the meteor back a little bit. But that wasn't going to be enough. It slowed it down, but didn't stop it completely. As he had basically mainly just stopped it and made it go back a little bit, he didn't destroy it. So what he did was he flung at it and shattered it going upwards. As he would launch it away, this would although causing him more grief to deal with. As he by himself shattered this thing, and they took this as a big thing, and because it was, as an S-Class struggled to try it even getting close to it, 2 of them technically. A third would have tried but wound up not doing it, putting him at roughly at least S-Class level, but they didn't put him up that high, so they only made him to A-Class rank 15. Now this means you're borderline S-Class. You have respect. And most people would even make toys about you as Caped. As he wasn't given the name Caped Baldy, they gave him the name One Punch Man. Now why do they go with One Punch Man? Because 1 hit is all it takes for him to knock somebody clean out or gone completely. And they know this, that's why they said it. Now every punch he throws is crazy rapid though. Like 1 hit is enough to shatter everything. As we all know, it's Saitama's whole thing. Now, he would go a little bit further, go through a few more things. Now, whenever they summoned all the S-Classes, the thing still happened. Who are you supposed to be? I know you. You're A-Class hero, rank 15, One Punch Man, Saitama. Considerably one of the top strongest humans, but not the brightest. Correct. And who are you? I am, as she would say her name, it was a little tornado girl. As this is when Saitama actually gave her respect. Now more than Yin Canon, but not crazy amounts. Basically stating that he did respect her, just not very much. But whenever Boros would still happen, whenever they were checking all that, same thing happened. But this is what Boros sees. Flying up there, beating the dog shit out of everyone there. Now, being that Saitama got the most victory in this fight, they actually do go moving his rank up to A-Class rank 2. This is literally just right beneath S-Class. And this is when the actual A-Class rank 1 made it actually walked up to him in a Federation building, basically calling him up, and this doesn't really happen in canon, but it's what I'm making happen, and said, you know what, I'll make you a deal. If you can take the A-Class spot from me, you win. Sure. How do I do that? You have to beat me in a 1 versus 1 fight. They say you're strong. Let's have a match. Sure. Now, this is when Saitama actually said, you know what? I'm good. Why, are you scared? No. Because a villain attack would happen. Just one random-ass villain in the streets attacked Saitama, basically just attacked the building, and he went to stab somebody, and it basically just bounced off, as he basically slapped it away from his chest, saying, you know, I've expected better, like a lot better, so 1 shot. Knocking clean out a strong hero. I mean, knocking clean out a pretty strong monster. As this is when he said, I'm good. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to a sale at the store. Bye. There was really just a sale at the store. He wanted to find a reason to get out of there. And he was good. He actually got the perfect thing. Now, this is when Saitama noted how much they fucking made. Like, they made a lot more than expected. As Saitama now being A-class rank 2, he actually had, like, sculptures. Like, people knew who he was. But in this version, whenever the marshal, for Season 2, that would start basically in a different way. Fubuki already goes in to visit Saitama. He still met King, that would basically happen as canon. Although, Saitama wouldn't recognize King in this version, saying, "It's been a long time since I saw you. You know, most of the time, I see you back up. You took all the credit for my fights. I'm not going to have you report yourself as a fraud or anything. In fact, I want you to keep as you are. They need a symbol like you. But one day, I'll deal with everything. Alright." As King would look eye to eye, as this is when, like, the martial arts contest would still happen, but in this version, he straight up just took the thing, and he said, "Student of the blue," of whatever his name was. I think it was like Silver Fang. Yeah, it's like Silver Fang. "Student of Silver Fang, yada yada yada." As Silver Fang would say, "Huh, I didn't think that would work. Actually, that makes sense. Student of Silver Fang." And didn't even put it on a wig or anything. Saitama would just be trained, didn't know how to really put on the belt or anything, but he would learn how to do it and put it back on properly. As he would crack his knuckles, and when he had to fight the final guy, he showed him how strong he was, and won the whole prize with ease. As he noted that you're strong, and you'd probably make a good hero, but not good enough. I'd say you're probably maybe an A-class. Maybe an A-class? Well, yes, you're not strong as some of the ones I've met, but you're also not weak. You're probably weaker than some, but not many. Maybe even close to S-class if you were properly there. And now hearing this actually inspired the guy to actually join the Hero Association. Now, as we get to see them actually fight, this one dude, Saitama one-shot. And as they dealt with all the monsters, Goro, all that, and the big thing would still be appearing. Although Saitama would still actually get credit for one-shotting this thing. One being that meant he was as strong as Genos. Or at least in their eyes that he was. Since Genos' giant fire attack and all that, even though Saitama was way stronger, it just gave him that credit. As they would actually post a new ranking. Saitama rank 15 in S-class. This put him behind most of the S-class, but also made it where he was actually in S-class now. And getting paid the extra S-class money. Now, this is when they came out with a new issue, putting who Saitama was. And he's taken out that Garo guy like 4 times at this point. But Villain Garo is actually showing to be coming up and everything. Although, now, this is where the manga starts, and honestly, I've never read the manga, so usually I would just stop it here since I don't know it, but I also do a lot of crazy shit on my channel, so through the power of magical bullshit, I'll give you more information. Saitama would proceed to walk. He basically had the same interactions for a while, training Moomin Rider, who now I'd rank as at least a medium A class. Probably as strong as like 90% of A class. Stronger than that. Although I say he wouldn't be an S class, he'd be able to fight in S class and probably come out roughly beaten up, but not losing completely. Say if Moomin Rider fought Metal Bat, it'd be a fight. It wouldn't be a whooping. Of course, that just makes sense. Now, this is when we get to see how different things have gotten. Since Moomin Rider is actually considered a very powerful hero, and even though he's still a B-class rank 1, they also consider him to be the closest to an A-class there is. I mean, he's C-class rank 1, strongest C-class. Although they also consider him to be roughly as dangerous as an A class. Though they never move him up because he never wants to. Now, this is when we get to see just how strong Saitama really shows to be. He's getting more respect from Fubuki. They would go to the hot springs, and there was actually more respect put on his name, and whenever they thought maybe he would have killed someone, Saitama was just brutally honest. 1, don't give a damn. 2, he's a zombie. Why don't we just wait for him to wake up to tell us? Oh yeah, forgot about that. As he would wake up saying, it's covered in kind of green light like that chick. As Saitama would laugh a little bit and saying, it's not a big deal, dude's fine. As he would say, listen, we all make mistakes when we're drunk. Shit. If I got drunk, I'd probably break the entire building when I swung. As this when Fubuki said, well, probably. Now, at this point, we get to see a full-on difference. Now, at this point, Saitama has trained like fucking crazy, and he would have to fight the one dude, I think it was like Homeless Emperor or something, who was basically a villain given the powers by God and shit like that. And Saitama would basically just pimp slap him with one punch. He calls it serious pimp slap. Psh. One hit knocks this dude clean out of his powers. Now, we have the Monster King and all that, considered one of the strongest monsters. Him and Garo, before he became Cosmic Garo, were pretty much even, I think. Saitama would instantly one-shot the Monster King like it was easy, even calling him out on his bullshit. He's heard this story too many times. They talk about being the pinnacle. Well, bitch, I am the pinnacle. As he would one-shot this thing. When he fought Garo showed very much power, and Saitama actually fought. Though he never really needed full force, he one-shot Garo. But he still almost ripped apart the entire universe doing that, as the god of their universe would appear, threatening to take Saitama's strength away. Though, this is when he realized something. Saitama, he never granted him strength. He gave him barriers more than the average. He broke more barriers to become this strong. They would fight, and Saitama would actually wind up killing God. Although in this version it wouldn't just kill God. It wouldn't take all the powers away. It would just give Saitama the ability to choose who got powers. He would wind up dispersing them quite evenly among everyone, and telling them to train harder, as he became Saitama S-Class rank 1. He was given the offer to make a new class of S-Class, of double S-Class, which is basically a world ender event. Which Saitama said, sure, I'll take that title, as he became known as Saitama the One Punch Man, hero to all, and the hero of fun. As he would stand in power, no one could step to him. He was happy, as he would basically teach people to train their hardest. As at that point, Genesis started reaching S-Class rank 2. King has actually started to physically train, becoming worthy of the title of S-Class. Though he's actually a lot weaker than most, he's still up there. Like, he's stronger than most A-Classes. He's just not S-Class strength. He is strong as fuck, after training with Saitama for about 3 years. Now, his King engine is still stronger than anyone else's abilities, except for Saitama's. And we're ending this off as Saitama would basically take the role of God, as he would find one poor unfortunate soul, a boy with no power, and grant him something. He wasn't physically strong, he wasn't very smart. He would grant this boy the mindset of Saitama, as Saitama would basically become another god, though not an evil god. He would be happy. He would watch how people gain more strength, as he would relax and float in the abyss. Although he is a very known god, he would fly around, talk to people, do whatever he wanted by will, granting people powers far above what they were expecting. And this is the end of What If Saitama Trained Intelligence, one shot.